In a world where everybody's buying crossovers and SUVs, some people still prefer sedans. In fact, a lot of people still prefer sedans. Take the Honda Accord, for example. It's one of the best-selling vehicles in the United States, and it's the second longest running nameplate for Honda after the Civic. In fact, this is my first experience with Honda in quite some time, so I'm pretty excited to see where they've come. My first impressions, this thing is pretty amazing. You almost get a sense of an entry-level luxury sedan with the new Accord. Let me give you a quick tour, then I'll give you my opinion on what I think about the 2020 Honda Accord. Let's do this, but before we do, make sure you hit subscribe. Now, a lot of the times, the minor details make a big difference, and I just want to point out that these buttons on the Honda Accord sound really, really nice. They sound kind of like how Audi buttons sound, and this is the first time that I've seen a mainstream JDM car have these kind of buttons. I don't even see these kind of buttons, these clicky sounds in Acura, Lexus, or Infiniti. Very cool. Now, continuing on with those minor details and cool things, check out these temperature knobs. When you turn the temperature down, they turn blue. When you turn it up, it turns red. Very gimmicky, but hey, that's very, very cool. The keyless game is pretty strong in the Honda Accord, and I'm somebody who usually forgets to lock their car. So say you're done driving the car, the Honda Accord has something called auto walkaway lock. You can just exit the vehicle, step away, and when you're at a distance, the car will lock itself. So that means you'd never really have to pull your keys out of your pocket. So say I'm walking up to the car, I just touch the door handle to unlock it, and then I get in, hit the start button. Nice little welcome sound. And that's it. Never have to use the keys ever again. Next up, if you're somebody that's a big fan of driver assist technology, you'll be happy to know that all Honda Accord trim levels come standard with Honda Sensing. And that means you get standard adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, traffic sign recognition, road departure mitigation, collision mitigation. And that's very cool because some of those technologies cost a pretty penny even when you go for luxury cars. Now that we've gotten the cool things out of the way, let's talk about pricing. Pricing for the 2020 Honda Accord starts at $24,020 for the base LX model. This one here is the top of the line touring model, which starts right above $36,000. So say, for instance, you're somebody that likes their cars to be fully loaded. A fully loaded Honda Accord Touring can run you north of $39,000. And that's if you go for the fashion accent package and 19-inch wheels, some of which can cost you over $3,000. So yes, it can get pretty expensive. Now that doesn't mean you have to pay over $39,000 to enjoy the Honda Accord the way it is here. You can get a nicely equipped Honda Accord Sport 2.0 for right over $31,000, and you'll get Honda Sensing driver assist tech, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, along with dual zone climate control and much, much more. Next up, let's talk about power and performance. There is no longer a V6 option on the Honda Accord. That has been replaced for a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine, making 252 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque, and that's made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission. This engine here, in fact, is the 306 horsepower engine from the Civic Type R, but it has been detuned to make 252 horsepower, which is still pretty respectable for a midsize sedan in this segment. Now, my test model here is made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission, but if you want something more engaging to drive, you can go for the Honda Accord Sport, and you can get this 252 horsepower engine from the Civic Type R with a 6-speed manual transmission, so you can just have some fun. Now that turbo 4-cylinder engine from the Civic Type R does make the Accord very quick. I've hit 0 to 60 in just 5.6 seconds. You have a top speed of 126 miles an hour, making the Accord 2.0T one of the quickest cars in the segment. Now let's talk about fuel economy really quick, because I know a lot of the Accord shoppers do care about that. You get 22 city, 32 highway. You have a 14.8 gallon tank capacity. I'm averaging just after 4 days of driving a total of 25 miles a gallon, and that's not bad at all for a car that does 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds. All right, next up, let's run through the exterior design of the new Accord, because I actually think it looks quite amazing. Now, I'm going to be honest here, there was a time where Honda was getting a little too boring with their exterior design language, but they've started being more aggressive lately. The new Civic looks really nice, and the new Honda Accord definitely looks more aggressive than the outgoing ones. The Accord looks better than ever. You have a very aggressive front end with a sharp grille, and all Accords come standard with LED headlights. From the side, you have a fastback-inspired design with a sloping rear roofline, which gives it a 4-door coupe kind of feel. And then from the back, you have a nice wide stance with highlights including LED taillights and dual exhaust on this particular model. This segment is populated with some boring looking sedans, and I think the Honda Accord and the Mazda 6 along with the new Hyundai Sonata are kind of pushing the envelope from what we can expect in this segment. Now, for those that enjoy a nice set of wheels, I do want to point out that 17-inch wheels on the Accord are standard, but you can upgrade to 19-inch wheels that are available in a variety of styles, and pricing for those can go up to $3,198. Can you imagine paying more than $3,000 for wheels on a Honda Accord? Let me know in the comments because I'm not too sure about that. Let's talk about cargo capacity really quick because I know a lot of people default to going for crossovers so their Costco trips can be a lot easier. But I think 16.2 cubic feet worth of cargo capacity should be plenty of space for anything that you want to buy from Costco. Next up, let's hop inside the new 2020 Honda Accord, the 9th generation model. And if you're somebody like me that hasn't been inside a Honda Accord for quite some time or a Honda product in general, you're going to be very, very impressed. It almost feels like an entry-level luxury sedan in here. There's a lot of soft touch materials throughout the cabin. Very nice choice of trim here. I think it's kind of like fake vinyl wood. It's quite roomy in here as well. Remember, the Accord is now longer and wider than the outgoing model, so there's plenty of space in here. There is some plastic, but they make it look really nice. Almost kind of looks like soft touch materials, as long as you don't touch it. Now, when it comes to comfort, the Honda Accord does not disappoint. The seats here are very, very comfortable. You have 12-way power adjustable seats on my test model here. And if you want heated seats, you have to go for the EX models and above. And if you want ventilated seats, you can only get that on the Honda Accord Touring. Now, when you hop into the second row, you'll be welcomed by 40.4 inches of rear legroom. And I did my research, and that's the most legroom in this segment. I'm about 6 foot tall. That's my seating position. As you can see, I have plenty of legroom here. And the Honda Accord Touring comes standard with heated rear seats. Pretty cool. I just want to show you a closer look at the steering wheel because there is a lot going on here. On the left side, you have your media controls as usual, your Bluetooth buttons, the ability to change your left gauge cluster. You have minus and plus for the paddle shifters right here. And then over here, you have your driver assist, including adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, and the ability to change the contents of your heads-up display. Let's just take a quick look. You can circle through some options here, and it's a very crisp heads-up display for sure. Next up, let's take a closer look at the gauge cluster. I do have it in accessory mode. That's why the check engine and the battery lights are on, so don't complain. But it's really the left side of the gauge cluster that sees the most action. You can circle through some options that you want to display there, including tachometer, range and fuel, speed and time, audio, phone, navigation, traffic sign, driving support, driver attention, maintenance, and a bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to go through all of them. But the coolest thing here is when you're in the tachometer display and you shift the car to sport mode, it does a really cool animation and it shows you your turbo boost. Very, very cool. I can do this all day long. Now, a good infotainment system is very, very important in this day and age. And if you go for the Honda Accord Sport models and above, you'll get this 8-inch touchscreen display. And it's a very nice system, very easy to use, very quick. You have Apple CarPlay, you have Android Auto as standard. Overall, I really love it. But let's take a closer look. First up, I really love the navigation map. It is very smooth, very easy to drag and drop. And when you're turning the car, it doesn't glitch when it's switching around views. It actually does it very, very smoothly. Very nice job here on the navigation system. Now, one thing that I do appreciate that I see automakers doing more and more is the ability to customize your home screen the way you want it to. So you can just hold down and then you can just drag and drop stuff around. And when you're done, just click done and you can have it set to the items that you access most often. And I just want to give a big shout out while I'm here to whoever at Honda decided, hey, we don't need a touchscreen volume knob. Let's just put a dial and make life easier for everybody that buys our cars, along with a tune scroll knob. Very nice. Thank you very much. Now, when it comes to your charging needs, you do have a USB port hidden right here and one under the armrest. And if you want a wireless charger, you'll have to pay $300 extra. Not a fan of that. I really think that wireless charging should be standard on all cars now. Everybody has wireless charging, so let's just implement it and give them a free wireless charging pad. It shouldn't cost $300. Now let's just take a look at the center console here. You have the ability to change your drive modes from here. You have Sport and Econ. I don't know why people call it Econ. Can we just stick with Eco? Econ just sounds weird. Parking brake, your brake hold, and then obviously you have this. I don't know how I feel about the transmission gear selector button thing going on in most cars these days. I like a real shifter. Let me know what you like in the comments below, but I'm curious, do you care? Do you not care? Or do you like a real shifter? Let me know in the comments below. Now, before I get into giving you my opinion on how it is to drive the Honda Accord, I want to show you two things that I always love to show. The door open and close sound from the outside. And then from the inside. Pretty solid. Now let's start the car and honk the horn. Pretty solid. And now that I've answered all of your questions about the 2020 Honda Accord, let me give you my opinion on what I think about this awesome mid-size sedan. I was about to say mid-size luxury sedan because it kind of feels like one, but either way, let's get to it. The new 2020 Honda Accord is pretty amazing, but if you're not into going fast, you can go for the base 1.5 liter 4-cylinder turbo engine and still enjoy the Accord the way it is here. However, if you do want some Civic Type R fun and the ability to go from 0 to 60 in just 5.6 seconds, get ready to pay over $31,000. You have 3 drive modes including Econ, Normal, and Sport. To be honest, I've been consistently driving this in Sport and I've still managed a combined fuel economy of 25 miles a gallon, so I'm not complaining at all. Now when it comes to power delivery and handling, this thing is amazing. I've actually read a lot of automotive publications saying that they feel that the Accord steering is a bit light. I couldn't disagree more. I've driven most of the mid-size sedans in this segment and the Accord definitely has the tightest steering out of all of them and has a really good dynamic feedback. The 10-speed automatic transmission here is pretty solid, but you can get the Accord 2.0 with a 6-speed manual if you go for the Accord Sport. And yes, you can get a 6-speed manual transmission in a mainstream family sedan. Now when it comes to comfort as a daily driver, the new Accord is pretty smooth. I did notice some harshness going over some bumps on the road, but that could just be me coming out of a Lexus RX, which is butter smooth. But hey, I don't care because in this particular model, the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo, you could just step on it and the power delivery is so nice. 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds in this segment is nothing to frown upon. So would I recommend buying the new Accord? Absolutely. My top picks in this segment include the Honda Accord, the Mazda 6, and the Toyota Camry. Either way, thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll see you next week. Make sure you hit subscribe on the YouTube channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Omar Drives. I'll see you next week. Take